everyone, how are you? Sophia here. I'm your community chef educator from East New York Farms. So today we'll be making a delicious kale pesto, and to go with our kale pesto we'll be making some plantain chips. So I decided on this recipe because one, it's a great snack recipe. All the produce that I'll be using or most of the produce I should say, I'll be using in this recipe is from East New York Farmers Market. So that is every Saturday from 9 to 3. Visit ucceny.org for all information on the farmers market and any East New York Farms led projects. Alright, so let's get into making our kale pesto first. So we are going to use 2 cups of kale, of course washed. Don't need to chop them, just the leaves. Any hard stems, you can leave those out. So, and then a 1/2 cup of olive oil, which I have here. A 1/3 cup of sunflower seeds. Just so you can see, sunflower seeds. 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, depends on if you're a garlic person or not, and also if your garlic are really big. These are big, so, and I'm a garlic person, so definitely use your discretion. Those are 2 garlic cloves, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's what I have here, black pepper and salt. But I also added the red pepper flakes. So that's a 1/2 teaspoon of that. And that's optional. It's up to you. You don't need to add the red pepper flakes at all. Just use whatever you enjoy. Okay, so those are ingredients. So the first thing we're going to do is, so I already have my kale in here. So next I'm going to add my sunflower seeds, and I'm going to add in my garlic. Okay, so instead of the small blender, the handheld blender I was just going to use, I'm going to use the bigger blender. So I already added the ingredients. You saw I added it to this cup. I'm going to just transfer it. This cup is a little bit too small for what we are about to do. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that. Oh, there's a little piece of garlic there. Hold on. Let's add that. So you're going to blend. It's a little bit noisy, so let me blend it and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is the initial blend. I haven't added the olive oil yet, but I just wanted you to see how it should look. So now I'm going to add the oil slowly, and then I'll come back and show you what that will look like. So what I'm going to do is basically pour the oil as it's blending very slowly inside. If you can't do that, add oil, blend, add oil, blend. All right, so we'll be right back. Okay, so one thing I noticed is that I had to transfer the pesto mix to the smaller I guess handheld blender from this initial bigger blender. So what I did is I started here to blend together the sunflower seeds and the garlic and the kale. So once that was together, by the way, it smelled magnificent, so you're going to enjoy that smell. Once that was blended, then I noticed because of the small size or the small portion, it's much easier to then take that and transfer it to the handheld. So that's what we have here is our pesto that is pretty much done. I'm just gonna blend for maybe under a minute and it should be ready. So what you can do though is if you are making bigger portion size, then you can double and triple and quadruple the recipe. So depending on your family size and what works for you, but if you're using this recipe as is, I would recommend kind of doing the same thing, or using what I could have done is use a bigger cup so that I can fit the initial kale. All right, so I will be back and we'll be pouring out the kale into a bowl and moving on to our chips. Okay, so I just added the black pepper, the red pepper flakes, and the salt. So that is all added in there. So what we're gonna do is we're ready to add our lemon juice. Make sure you get everything out. All right, so go ahead and add our lemon juice. I'm just going to mix it in. And again, that's 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And we're all done. That is our pesto. All right, so now the thing I did is got a small pot, and I got it nice and hot. Then I'm gonna add oil about halfway, a light oil. Okay, a light oil. So what is a light oil, right? Grapeseed oil, safflower oil. So oils like that don't have too much flavor to it are good, and they can also withstand high heat because we are frying. And I know you hear it a lot about frying. Is it a good method? You don't want to eat, obviously, too much of anything is not great, but the beauty of this is that, I don't know if you're like me, sometimes if I get a bag of chips, you're gonna eat the whole bag and not even know that the bag is 4 servings. It's like this small and this wide, but it's 4 servings. Who's going to just eat a small portion? And at 4 servings could be like 6 chips. No, you're not going to do that. Well, I'm not going to speak for you. I'm going to say it's hard for me to do that. So what I find easy is that when you make your own chips, it's already a smaller yield, so you're not going to eat as much. You get the satisfaction of your chips, but you're not eating as much as you would if you picked it up on a shelf in the grocery store. So, and it's homemade, you know what's in it, you know what seasonings you put on it or not, and you know exactly how it was made. So that's also the beauty of it. All right, so let's get into that next. Plantain, we're using green plantain. So I've washed it and scrubbed the skin with just water. That's really important. Even though you're not going to eat the skin, it's good to wash it with water. So first, I'm going to take off the ends to get... It's always good to also keep a basket or like a bowl, excuse me, on hand somewhere, so it's easy to throw food scraps in. So I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to score just the skin, and then I'm going to, with my hands, try to break that from this split and peel. It will get yellow. The skin will get yellow. That's how you know it is ripe. And when it's ripe, it's sweet. But at this point, it has a savory flavor. It's not sweet at all. Just go ahead and cut those off. I'm gonna put my food scraps in my scrap bowl, which makes it easier for cleaning. All right, so now I have my plantain. I'm not going to use my knife. I'm going to use a potato peeler. The thinness will give you the chip. This is really important. So if it's too thick, you will not get a nice thin chip. The thinness is what makes it work. So potato peeler, you can actually get this at Dollar Tree. If you have access to Dollar Tree, it's $1. You can get this and it will help you out to make these chips. Okay, so, and if not, and you have crazy, super amazing skills, you can use a knife or a mandolin if you have one of those. Cut at the angle first because they're going to come out rounded. So I need a sharp, there we go. I need a really sharp start. You can collect these in a bowl. I'm just going to go ahead and collect them on my cutting board. And I will just do a few. And let me just show you how thin it is. So like paper thin is how you want it to make your chip. Just finish off the banana. For demonstration purposes, I'm not going to finish all of it. I'm going to stop there. You definitely can cook this just because it's not thin. You can cook it, but it's not going to be a chip. It's not going to be nice and crispy. Okay. So here I'm going to make sure I don't crowd the pot. It's not a huge area and not a lot of space. So I'll make sure I don't crowd the pot. It's not going to take long for them to cook. So make sure you have your tongs ready to flip. I see the browning, and if you see browning on that one side on the edges, that's how you know they're ready to flip. This is browning on that edge. So just pay attention. This is not something you can walk away from because it happens really quickly. It's already done. This one's already done. It's already done. These are on their way. We'll give them a second while we wait. What I have over here is an area for them to dry. There's a paper towel. So we don't want that excess oil. We want all that excess oil to drain out. We don't need that. So we are done with our plantain chips. I'll just show you one. Here's our plantain chip. It's pretty much done. Can you see it? Yeah. Can you hear it? It's nice and crispy and thin. Just like the store-bought, better. So good. So what you can do at this point with seasoning, I'm not going to season mine because I'm going to eat them with the kale pesto. But you can also season them with anything you like. Like, what seasoning would you put on it? Paprika? Or... Okay, so I'm just plating our plantain chips for you to see. Here they are. They're fully drained. So I'm going to add them to our plate for you to see them. Alright, so here is our dish. So that is our kale pesto and our plantain chips. So delicious. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a try. So good. It's so delicious. And again, the great part is that you can have a small portion but still have the satisfaction. So what you can do other things with this pesto. Let me stop eating. Okay, so you can do other things with this pesto. You can add it to pasta. You can add it to some avocado toast. That is a nice sauce or spread. You can add it to beans and rice, any type of beans. You can add it to your eggs in the morning. I'll show you some examples and pictures in this post. But yeah, it's unlimited. It's like a sauce. So, or you can treat it as a sauce. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this recipe. I really would love to hear if you make it, how you like it. So I welcome you to hop in the comments and ask your questions. Alright, that's it for this recipe. I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, everyone, eat well and be well, and I'll see you at the farmer's market. Bye.